Hey guys, Ivan here, and in this video we got a couple of very interesting topics. First of all, we had this really awesome guest posing right here with a lot of big names, but of course the biggest surprise here was Nick Walker, as we all know, who brought basically a show-ready physique. He was shredded, he was conditioned. We're gonna look at this a little bit more closely since we got some new high-quality videos and the photos, but I gotta say, the other guys looked really impressive too. I mean, Stanimal didn't lose his ground against these beasts here. Quint Beastwood, or Quinton Eriya, was really big, but I would say out of shape, really bulky. And of course there is Keon Pearson, who recently competed, who is, still in a good shape, a little bit watery, but of course he's still shredded. He just won the 212. Look at Nick here. Look at Nick in the side chest. Look at that. That was freaky, man. That's insane. So Nick definitely brought his A game to this guest posing. I mean, he didn't have the opportunity to compete at the Mr. Olympia because of the injury, but now that he recovered, he came to this guest posing here and showed us that he could have won the Mr. Olympia and probably would have won if he looked like this. Probably it would be the best conditioning in that top 3, top 4, all the way back to front, and he wouldn't miss any muscle. There is no missing body parts, everything is spot on, everything is huge. You might say Derek has a better back double bicep, and okay, sure, he does. He definitely did destroy Hadi and Samson in the back double bicep, but would he destroy Nick? Would he kill him in that shot? No, he definitely wouldn't. Nick's back double is also really good. Back lat spread, sure, Derek would beat him in that one. And yeah, sure, he would beat him in the back double bicep, but he wouldn't destroy him like he destroyed everybody else on that Mr. Olympia stage. It would be kinda close. He would beat him, but not by a long shot. Nick has a really big back, a really good back. Let me put it this way, a really good back double bicep. Everything flows so well from behind. He has an enormous back, he also has really peaky biceps from the back. And also his hamstrings are probably the best hamstrings in the world right now. In this video it's not really looking like that because he wasn't able to train them. The left one is still a little bit inflamed, so it's not really showing a lot of separation, but when he is on, when everything is fine, his hamstrings are arguably the best in the world, and also his glutes are shredded, and let's say he would look much better if he was never injured and if he competed at the Mr. Olympia, if this wasn't a guest posing. And I gotta show you this side chest once again. I mean, he would kill everybody in this pose. I mean, neither Derek nor Hadi were great in the side chest. And look at Nick, look at that chest, look at that separation in the lower chest. And then the glutes and the side leg and the shoulders and the arms and the way it's flowing, it's just so thick, so massive, so shredded, showing so much detail, and everything is put together perfectly. This is a crazy side chest. Now the question is, would he win the Mr. Olympia? Well, we got this high quality video right here, so we can check out exactly what he looks like, but of course he would look better if he did everything perfectly and for the Mr. Olympia, not for a guest posing. So yeah, I think he improved a lot. I think his leg width is definitely much better now. There is a lot more muscle in those legs, and overall I think he was just bigger and more shredded than ever. Even though, once again, this is a guest posing and he would look better if he did the Mr. Olympia. The only problem, as per usual, is his V-taper and his aesthetics. His midsection, of course, is a little bit problematic. His waist is just a little bit too wide. So it definitely wouldn't be the most aesthetic physique on that stage, X shape or V-taper wise. He's not really blessed with the structure, but with what he's got, he did so much. And when he does the poses, there aren't many poses that he looks weak at. So right here, like when he's walking or when he's doing the front double or front relaxed, you can see that blockiness in the waist. So maybe that would prevent him from winning, but that's the only thing that I can find, guys. I mean, he's shredded, he's complete all around, and legs are not an issue. Look at his legs. Like, would you say these legs are small? No way you would. And he wasn't able to train them for the past 5 weeks or so. He recently started training them lightly. And I'm assuming he did lose some volume in them, some size. So they would look bigger on the Mr. Olympia stage, but they don't have to be bigger. If you ask me, this is enough. This is good enough. These legs are big enough now for his upper body. this is awesome. This is as complete of a package as Nick can bring. What can he work on for the next Mr. Olympia? I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know, learning how to do a vacuum, making the waist smaller somehow, maybe adding some more muscle maturity, maybe adding some more size to some areas without sacrificing the shape at all. I don't know, it's going to be really hard to progress at this point because he's already so complete, so good, and he's massive and he can get shredded. So, yeah, I mean, if he competed at the Mr. Olympia, I mean, I'm not sure if he would win, but I would say he would have a really good shot at that title, at the win. If you ask me, he would be in the top 3 or top 2. You know, I don't know about the win. It's really hard to say, but it's very possible that he would have won that show. Like I said, it wasn't only Nick who did his guest posing. There were a couple of other great bodybuilders as well, such as Quinton Eriya. And he brought, a deep into the off-season look. And based on the comments, people are criticizing him for, getting too fat. And sure, there is some fat on this physique, but I think this guy knows what he's doing. I mean, actually, I know that Matt Jansen knows exactly what he's doing. And the reason why Quinton is in this kind of shape right now is because Matt is approving this. Matt is forcing him to eat. And I listened to him in a podcast, and he is eating a lot of food, like a lot of food. He's also drinking fruit juices on top of all the food because that's the only way that he can get the calories in. So he's really struggling to put on the weight to actually get big enough because for his frame, he needs to get much, much bigger than he is right now, or at least the way he was the last time we saw him on stage. He's a taller guy, he has a massive frame. I think he has the right tools, the right genetics to grow big enough, to get big enough, and to actually look really complete once he's done, once he's out of the oven. At the last show he did, it was Tampa Pro 2022, he was beaten by Kamal El-Gargni. Guys, Kamal El-Gargni, who is much, much smaller than him. He's a 212 guy, and Quinton was like, I don't know, 280 here probably. I mean, look at him. He was a giant. And he was beaten by Kamal. Why? No, it's not only the conditioning. I think Kamal was just overall complete, especially from the back, but there were like less gaps in the physique. He was more filled out. Of course, he has a much smaller frame, and Quinton has a humongous frame, so that means Quinton needs a lot more tissue to pack on, and that is exactly what he's doing right now. That's why he looks like this. This conditioning, I mean, I shouldn't even use the word conditioning. This shape is reminding me of Sean Roden, rest in peace, shape when he did a guest posing at Pittsburgh Pro, and he was heavily criticized for it, and then a couple of months later he was shredded again. So these guys know what they're doing. They can get shredded very easily, and yeah, sure, especially in the back and like the rear side, Quinton is holding on. It's not just water. I mean, he got to the point where he's putting on some body fat, so maybe this is not exactly the most presentable shape, but, he's in the off-season. They invited him. They wanted him to come here looking the way he looks, work in progress. He's deep into the off-season. Like, the last time he competed, once again, was Tampa Pro 2022, so it's been over a year. At this point, it was like a year and a half, and he's competing next year, so it's gonna be 2 years in between, and I'm expecting, like, some serious gains. And I think it's visible how much he grew. He is insanely big right now. And once he's shredded, once he loses all this fat and all the water, once he's ready for the stage, I think it's gonna be a major difference. And honestly, I'd like to see this. This means that he is very consistent. I mean, for a guy of his size, it's not easy to get this heavy, to get this big, to put this much weight on. He has so much muscle, he has such a big frame. In order for him to get this massive, he needs to eat who knows how many calories, and I know he's on top of his diet. He's coached by Matt Jansen, guys. So he is very strict. He is not binge eating KFC or whatever Lee Priest kind of diet. No, this is just clean food, a lot of fruit juices, a lot of calories from wherever. So it's a dirty book, let's put it that way, because it's a large caloric surplus, but he's eating clean, he knows what he's doing, he's a man on a mission, he has a plan, and I'm telling you, the next time we see him on stage, he's going to be a different bodybuilder. Alright, the next up we got Nathan DeAsha, who is not prepping for another show. He is done competing for this year, There are no more pro shows this year. He's done. But he's gonna compete in boxing. That's right. Nathan DeAsha is switching to boxing, apparently. Now, this is not really that much of a surprise to me. Recently, he ran a marathon. Guys, a full marathon. And he did it. He did a whole thing. I don't know how big he was at that time, but he couldn't have been that much smaller. And right now, he is massive. He is bigger than he has ever been. And he also spoke about that his plan is to get 10 pounds bigger for next year. However, next summer, he's gonna compete in boxing. And he's very confident that he will do very well. Let me show you this interview, this video where he says that.
I'm hoping to come for the heavyweight title next year. I've seen the guys fight. I believe I can knock out them, so why not go for it? Been boxing for long, you know, since I was a child. I've still got a passion in my heart. I can still feel it. But seeing these guys, for me, it'd be a walk in the park, I think, you know. So I'm coming for that title, and I believe it'll be mine by next summer. I'm quick, I'm explosive, I've got a heavy hand. As you can see, I'm a well-built physique, so I believe if you come next to me in that short distance, I believe I'll knock the heads off straight away. You know, I can't see not many getting past the second round. So if they're up for it, I'm ready.
All right, very interesting, very interesting. I mean, I don't know if the guy should be worried, scared, or shouldn't care about this. I mean, Nathan right now is looking like a freaking monster. I mean, look at him. He's in the rebound post-show, so he blew up like crazy. He's massive. I mean, he's not much smaller even when he's competing. And yeah, he's gonna try himself out in boxing. I can't wait to watch that match. I don't know who he's gonna fight, but it's gonna be very interesting to see him in a boxing match. Apparently, it's not like a new thing for him. He has been training boxing before. He says that he still has, you know, a desire for it, fire for it in his heart, so he wants to try himself out. And now, of course, you would assume that he couldn't last too many rounds with all the muscle. He would gas out in a couple of rounds max. Let's be real. I mean, it's not just the weight. He's not just heavy. It's all muscle. It all requires oxygen and blood. So, of course, he wouldn't last very long. But he says that he wants to knock out people in only 2 rounds. He believes nobody will beat him in 2. Nobody is gonna last longer than 2 rounds with him because he has a very strong punch, as he says, and you know, he's very massive, and I know he's very athletic, and he is very aggressive, like in the gym when he's training, and he also looks like a guy I don't want to mess with. So yeah, maybe he will do well. It's gonna be interesting. And no, he's not quitting bodybuilding as far as I know. He's gonna be competing still in bodybuilding, but this is something he wants to do on the side. So a professional, competitive, top open bodybuilder is gonna go to boxing. That's gonna be very, very interesting to watch. Anyways, guys, tell me what do you think how he's gonna do, and tell me what do you think about Quinton. Is he really making progress, or what do you think about Nick Walker? Would have he won the Mr. Olympia the way he's looking right now? Whatever your thoughts are, guys, tell me in the comment section down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and for more stuff like this, subscribe to my channel, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon. All the best, and bye bye.